Right.
My enemy is the media, the Western media, the American government, the UK government, and any government that doesn't call out what is happening in the Middle East for what it is. So for the past few weeks, Israel have been indiscriminately bombing Lebanon, as well as still continuing bombing Gaza. And they're actually dropping bombs in the West Bank as well, and then, bulldozing houses and everything in the West Bank. They are also, there's been 4 countries: Lebanon, Yemen, Gaza, and Syria. Those are the countries that have been attacked. They've killed leaders of the parties that they deem as terrorists, and they are saying they're doing this because they're fighting for their lives. They started a ground incursion on Lebanon in the last couple of days or so. This has been met with silence from the Western world. Yeah. So Keir Starmer has come out amongst other politicians, and Keir Starmer has said, I utterly condemn this attempt by the Iranian regime to harm innocent Israelis, to escalate this incredibly dangerous situation, and to push the region ever closer to the brink. We stand with Israel and we recognise her right to defend herself in the face of this aggression. Now, I think you just heard me say that in the last couple of weeks, they've been bombing not 1, not 2, not even 3, but 4 countries. And if you look at the countries that they have been bombing, it's all part of the greater Israeli map, coincidentally. So the reason why they're all in the bin, I think I've explained it, but just for anybody that doesn't quite get it, it's the hypocrisy of it all. You cannot expect to slap somebody in the face continuously and for them to just be like, that's okay, I won't say nothing. They have a right to defend themselves too. Everybody has a right to defend themselves. If you're going to call out one country for aggression, you should call out all countries for aggression. And that is why they're all in the motherfucking bin. That's that.
Yes. Definitely.
100%. You said it all. Really, the only thing I would add is exactly what Israel is doing in Lebanon is what Russia did going into the Ukraine.
Yeah.
And that was called a war.
Yep.
And that was called an invasion.
Yep.
So why is it not the same?
Yep.
That's really it. And also, America, they've pledged to give another set of billions. So it's America that's at war. It's just proxy. They're just using Israel. If Israel can be bombing and they're like, you're going to back us, like most of the weapons that they have is coming from America, that's America is at war. Really. And that's all it is. So then the UK is at war. They are just killing people. It's really, that's what we're dealing with. If this was 1935 and it was the other way around and the world decided to back Germany, this is what we're witnessing. It's somebody going into other countries and being like, this is now going to be mine. Because why are you in Lebanon? Why are you in Syria? Like, you're taking land. So that's an invasion.
It's a one side, especially talking about media, it's a one-sidedness for me because I think you mentioned like Ta-Nehisi Coates was on CBS in a morning show, talking about his new book. It's called The Message. Ta-Nehisi is a brilliant author, so get his books anyway. This is about his time going into Senegal, and he went to Palestine. So he experienced firsthand what was going on there, and he wrote his book speaking about the apartheid of it all. And I can't remember the name of the host, the anchor, but he went in, and this anchor was going in saying, basically saying that Ta-Nehisi's book wouldn't be missing or would be perfectly found with basically in a backpack, implying that it's like a terrorist handbook, what he wrote about what he saw. And
that is actually insane.
It's insane. Like, and it was very like, Ta-Nehisi was like, no, I'm writing about what I witnessed. And he was like, so you're basically denouncing anything that Israel's going through, and you're basically you're advocating for the eradication of Jewish people. And Ta-Nehisi, that's not what my book's about. I'm denouncing apartheid, and that's what I saw. And he said, I don't care who did what. apartheid is bad. So if you're going to argue, you're basically arguing against the fact that is apartheid bad? Yes or no?
Yeah.
And if you're arguing about that, then you're basically saying that apartheid is okay.
Yeah.
And that's the problem here.
Yeah.
And that's what Ta-Nehisi says. It doesn't matter what anyone's done at that point. If you cannot argue against apartheid. Is it bad? Yes or no? And my book is about the fact that apartheid is bad.
Yeah.
That is it.
Yeah.
Where are the Palestinian representatives in the media to give a fair balance of what's going on?
Yeah.
Because it's not to downplay what Israeli people are going through. It's not. But at the same time, there's one loud voice, and anyone that speaks on behalf of Palestine is deemed anti-Semite or just wants to get rid of Israelis. It's weird, but then the hypocrisy that there's not one Palestinian journalist that's allowed to speak up, and anyone who does speak up in any type of positivity from Palestine, they get sacked, they get fired.
Yeah.
There's been a spate of Palestinian journalists that have been fired for speaking out in defense of what they're going through. So it's just like that side of it as well, apart from everything that's going on. And it's this walking us into this kind of potential World War III because of people swinging their dicks over land.
So Israel also saying that what they want to create in Lebanon is a buffer, a safe buffer.
Right.
So basically they're going to take a bunch of land and they're going to make that the safe zone, because then they can stop Hezbollah, being able to fire rockets into Israel that they won't reach if they have this safe buffer. Now, I was listening to a few commentators, and they were saying basically that Hezbollah is all over Lebanon, and the weapons that they have can reach Israel from wherever it is in Lebanon. So then how far do you push back to create this safe buffer? Where is it that you go?
So they want to create a safe buffer by aggressively taking the buffer,
the land.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
we're gonna seize this land so that you guys can't fire missiles at us.
Crazy.
Oh no, missile ranges can go even further now because of technology. We need more of your land. It's like, come on now.
Yeah.
We know what's going on.
It is.
Well, like, do you know what I mean? No,
And-
just want to
and-
grab it.
Yeah.
Like, do you know
What
what I
I will say in all of this is as well, what about the hostages? Yeah, because I thought that was the focus and the purpose. I haven't heard them talk about that for a very long time.
That is
Now
true.
all they're saying is that we need to be safe. We need to make sure that we eradicate all terrorists. And it's like, once again, the word terrorism is only useful when they're talking about people that they don't like.
Yeah.
When it's anyone that opposes their systems, we don't like that. So you don't want people to come to your land. You don't want people doing things on your land. You don't want anyone that isn't you on your land. But yet for all, you are going into other people's lands and enforcing your rules, your regulations, who you think they should have as their leaders. All of this, and we're supposed to just be like, okay with it. And the minute that anyone says that they're not, then you're the problem. It's just absolutely disgusting. The silence that I'm seeing around the Western world until, Iran have got involved. It's just, and they keep talking for us. So Keir Starmer was saying, the UK opposes this. Bruv, don't speak for me. Yeah? Don't speak for me. Don't speak for the majority of people that have been telling you for the last 10, 11, 12 months to stop arming Israel.
I really don't know when it's going to change because, when economies are as they are at this moment in time where everybody is up shit's creek, they have a war.
Yeah, always.
So it does. They want a war. This is what they want. What we got to be thinking about is where can we be and how can we be safe?
Yeah.
Where do we need to leave to? That's what I'm definitely thinking about. Where are we going to run to? Where are we going to go? Because it's going to happen. Nothing is being de-escalated. And realistically, living in the West at this moment in time, we are on the wrong side of history.
Definitely.
So being here,
and you're growing.
this is it.
so scary.
We're in that territory now. So what do we do when you have sense to know that the government is not representative of your humanity? I think what we have to do is leave.
When I saw a news report of a nurse who works for Doctors Without Borders, or a doctor, and she was saying they're the acronym that they use, WCNSF, a wounded child with no surviving family. Yeah. So all of that, and then then they've got the footage. I think you've seen the interviews of young kids talking about they're waking up shaking, they're not sleeping, even all that type of stuff. You're breeding a generation of people that hate and people who've got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
So if then
dangerous situation.
It's a Tinder block at the end of the day. They have nothing to do. They're saying they're killing us with American guns, American bombs, it's American uniforms. They were trained in America. They're hating. You're grooming them to hate the West. Have any excuse for them to retaliate, which they have every right at this point, and then you create the enhanced narrative of terrorists who hate America and hate the West. But it's not that. What have you been doing, instigating and basically grooming and growing these people to hate you because of your nonsense that you're involved in?
And that's what I mean, again, about things not being grounded in history.
Yeah.
So people thinking that this conflict just occurred.
Yeah.
But there's so much behind this. And I just feel that's one thing I find really frustrating about the narrative. Like, it's so surface level. And yeah, like there's so much history about Israel, Palestine. Like, there's so many resources out there, so many podcasts that make it so easy to like understand. Because I think that's one of the things with this conflict. It's like, it's so complex.
Yeah.
When they say it's complicated, though, it really frustrates me.
Exactly, because it's not. It's really not.
It's really not.
But it's really frustrating, because it's like, I think in the UK it's like both Tory and Labour, they're basically, we don't have a strong opposition.
No.
Yes.
And so I think that's why so many people found the general election like so frustrating, because it's like, where do we go from here? You're literally both the same. But at the same time, it's like, I understand the argument of the lesser evil, but then at the same time, you kind of need to create a change by doing something differently, but you need enough people to do that. But then, do you have a viable option?
Yeah.
That part.
So it's just so tough. I think the only politician that I really rate is Mia Motley in Barbados.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, 'cause she speaks.
Yeah. Other than that, it's just like, it just is. I think it's really frustrating watching the news from all angles at the moment.
It really is, because it makes you feel helpless. Like, and when you've been there, done that, seen it, washed, copy and paste, whatever, it happens again and again. And that's where you become apathetic. You march, you protest, but you also know the governments are going to do what they want to do. They're not really, I don't know what it takes for them to listen. They're just not. So you get to that point where, like, let's watch this fall out. So it is like planning your exit.
Yeah.
But
where do we go though? That's where are we going?
Where are we going? Because it's not, I don't know.
Atlantis.
I don't know how it works out for us. But like, also as well, like, I don't know if you guys saw, like, apparently they had on Russian TV, like a documentary of a simulation of what would happen if a missile hit London. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, honestly, that's happening. And then also as well, like, King Jong-un, he's like testing missiles and stuff like that. Like, very recently, like, we're focusing on that, but there's other threats as well.
Yeah.
People just playing with their toys.
They are putting us in harm's way.
They're
fuckeries. That's what's happening, because let's think about it. If you are, and I'm not backing any of these fuckers over there either, but if you're one of the others, if you're not part of the Western clique, and you're seeing what's going on, and you're seeing them go to another place and do this and get away with it and talk about how you're seeing the hypocrisy play out, you're going to want to protect your own. It's like we're sitting here saying, where the fuck can we run to? They're going to want to protect their shit.
Absolutely.
But it's just bizarre to me. I feel like we're living in a simulation.
You have to leave. You have to leave, because the power's shifting. So in the same way when America was taken over and they were becoming a superpower, you don't want to be in China.
No.
We have to think of it like that. Remember, China went on a lockdown for 60 years in poverty before they rose back up again. It may not happen in our lifetime, but definitely for our kids, they are going to see the downturn of the West. So then you have to leave before the axis drops, and then this becomes the poor area. I would think the only place to run to, I'm not saying I'm going to go to China. I'm probably going to hedge my bets in Ghana. It's going to be Ghana or probably Jamaica. But it could be that actually the safest place to be is to be in Dubai or to go to China. It may be that. And it is thinking, because we don't have a dog in this fight. So I'm ready to just exit.
That's frustrating.
I don't have no allegiance to the UK or to America. So I may as well bounce to somewhere that is going to be safe, because I don't condone anything that they're doing. But that's real. It's realistic. We have to start thinking like that. Like, the world is changing so drastically. We can't even, because then we're relying on them doing this shit to try and keep us safe.
Yeah.
I think we know. I feel like, I totally get what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing, but I'm just like practically aware. And then also as well, like, I feel like the UK is very different. Obviously, like, we'll talk about it later, but working for like a big local global company, you see so many other of the European countries, they think when they're graduating, they think, where in the world can I work? Right? Do you know what I mean? That's their mindset is very different. Like, do you know what I mean? To a UK person, you usually think like here, maybe America, but usually it's here, right? And I feel like there needs to be a mindset shift in that sense, like globally, what is best for me, rather than what's best for me in the UK.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you know, that's it's interesting.
We do need to, as Black folks, not look the way we've been looking. We need to look at other territories, other places.
I mean, I think there are a lot of, I still think there are a lot of benefits of being in the UK. But like you said, I think things are definitely changing, even from just like cost of living perspective.
Yeah.
The cost of things in this country is actually crazy for what you actually get for what you
my
work.
shopping bags have depleted.
Nothing, and it's 50 quid just gone.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I've gone into Shopshare, and when they've told me what the price is, I've been like, sorry, excuse me.
I've argued too. Are you okay?
Like, what's going on?
Did you say £74?
Yeah.
And they're like, and I look at what I've got, and I'm like, can you please tell me for why?
I'm putting things back, taking like take two of these. I'll put the rest back. Right.
So I think a lot of people my generation were just kind of, what is the point of being
That's
here
the
anymore?
point.
Like we're not getting we're working hard and we're not seeing the benefits of that hard work, even in terms of like healthcare, for example. So like, okay, I'm not against taxation, but if you were able to get a doctor's appointment, like
imagine
it would be, you know, it would make sense. The money would make, it would make sense. But like that's one thing that really like pisses me off, because I've seen so many people like die unnecessarily over the last few years because of waiting lists, because of not getting a doctor's appointment, where things could have been picked up so easily. And it's like people actually dying as a result of this. And yes, I think there is a limit in it. I think a lot of people I know are getting really frustrated and are kind of like, what is the point of being here anymore?
So where are they going to? So they're going to Dubai. Where else are they going to?
Yeah, a lot of people are going to Dubai. A lot of people just like remote working as well. So people that can be anywhere, just need an internet connection. Got friends in Bali.
The Western world is like a man that thinks you'll never leave him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. That's the branding.
You're
Until we
never
all
gonna
start
do
going.
better than me.
But he's starting to look a bit like a drunken addict right now.
Yeah.
An alcoholic, bro.
Would you really do it though?
Yes.
Okay, well, do you have a timeline? Like
Probably 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think there's still going to be problems when we go back home though. Do you know what I'm saying?
Because they don't allow you to just go. I remember when we had like the Exodus in 2009, where loads of people were going back to Ghana, and then they escalated light off. So a lot of people's businesses failed.
And that's happening
now.
But
it's not going to be easy, but I think what's going to happen is things are going to become so hard here. We will leave, like in the same way our parents left and they came here. We are going to leave, and it's fair that we do it. It's just some people, it's like the early adopters. It's when you're gonna go. Do you want to be here when it's all war torn, and then you want to exit, or do you want to go before? There's a time that a lot of conspiracy theorists are talking about, and it is like 2040. For this country.
2040.
2040, that something is going to take place. Some catastrophe.
Okay, that's all right.
So I'm like, I want to go before then.
Not the catastrophe's not right.
Plan your shit before then, innit?
Yeah.
2040, what's that? We're 60?
What?
We'll be in our
60?
okay, young one.
I'm just she'll be 59.
No, wait. Don't believe that. That's a lie.